My name is Kymberly Renee Harper, and I am a former Head Start parent. I currently work in administration now at Head Start. When I first started Head Start, I was 24 years old, and I belonged to the Council of Three Rivers American Indian Center, and the first year that I started at Head Start, I was the worst volunteer in the world. I wouldn't stay. I wouldn't talk to teachers. But the teacher was actually the first person who engaged me, Mary Ann Johnson, and just asked me to volunteer to bring cereal boxes in for the kids in dramatic play and in the cooking area and things like that. That's where I volunteered at first. And from there, the parent involvement coordinator scooped me up, Joanne Powell, and decided that I should be the president of the parent committee. So I actually did that. And that year I became, I got my parent involvement certificate for the first time. The next year I made Volunteer of the Year. And as I grew in the program, I was asked to come back as a keynote speaker at Lamont's restaurant. And I'll never forget that speech. I wrote a speech called How Head Start Planted a Seed in Me. And I talked about this experience between the teachers, the family support, my peers, the community, how they supported my family. And it was so significant, but it didn't stop there. So I was in college. My teacher, Mary Ann, helped me to get into CCAC, and I completed my years at CCAC. And then she helped me go to PET, and we wrote the paper and filled out the application, and I went to the University of Pittsburgh. And one of the gifts that I really wish that I could have gave her was to tell her that I also went to grad school and received my graduate degree. But all 3 times I went back to my Head Start, the same Head Start, and did my graduate work. I did my undergraduate work right there at my Head Start. And 2 years ago, well, the year before last, my director of my Head Start, Susan Bofton, who started the same year I started, right, it was 1990, oh my gosh, she asked me would I be interested in working with her. And I felt like I came back home by coming to the Head Start where I raised my kids, where I grew my career, where I finished my education, to give back to the same parents that I was not that long ago. So I work there, and I'm in administration, and it has been wonderful. And I love sharing my story about Head Start because they really have planted a seed in me. So, thank you. My first day, and I was like avoiding people, and trying to get up the steps. And the receptionist says, "Hello, welcome to Head Start. My name is Pauline." I'm like, yeah. And then I go up the steps. "Hi, welcome to Head Start." Everywhere I went, everybody was welcoming me, and I'm like, oh God, like I wanted to be invisible. They wouldn't allow me to be. They gave me a face and a voice and a reason. I think it's important, that people know, especially those who fund this program, that think it's just about kids, Well, the way that the kids got there is through the parents, and so parent involvement is so important. And a lot of people lose the focus, and they think, like with pre-K, there's no like parent involvement component, but without it, you lose a piece of the family. You know, the kids are one piece, the parents are another piece, and then you can even split them out, and that the fathers are so important, you know, and the moms are so important, and the grandparents and adoptive, you know. So when you bring it all together, it connects like a puzzle, and you provide support to the entire family, which is supporting the community, you know. And so that's what I felt. I felt like they were supporting me, they were supporting my community, they were supporting my city and my region. So